Well, hello, boys and girls. Here we are on a Saturday, and I thought I would show you something a little bit different today. What do you do when you get a stinky book? Well, anyone that sells vintage or antique books, sooner or later you're going to get one. I bought a beautiful box of books in Ballarat when I was down with Blake, got them home, and they were as stinky as all get up. I think they've been stored in a very musty shed for a long time. Yeah, it didn't smell good. So how do you go about getting rid of it, the smell? What's the easiest and best way? Well, I'm going to show you the system that I have adapted for getting rid of those stinky books. Now, I'm just going to pause for a sec because I need to readjust the camera so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Now, the first thing you're going to need is a airtight plastic container. Now, they don't have to be super, super airtight, but as long as it's reasonably airtight. Now, I'm using this because I can't fit what I usually use on my desk to show you properly. So what I found works really well is one of those underbed storage tubs, totes, tubs, whatever you want to call them. And I find that it's good because I can slide it under the bed and leave it there for a week or so. And it's all sealed up nice and tight. And I'll show you why, because it gives you plenty of room to do the next step inside. So you need your airtight container and your stinky book. And the other thing you're going to need, especially if you're going to use a big container, you're going to need lots of bicarb soda. So, look, just go and, you guys probably in bigger places are probably luckier than I am. You can probably buy it in bigger bulk spots. I know some places have like the cleaning bicarb, which is a lot cheaper, works just as well. So, yeah, by all means, go and get something like that. So, first thing we do is we're going to open our container up like so. So just pretend this is a super big one, right? So I get one of those underbed containers, as I said, and I cover the bottom of it with a very good layer of bicarb. So when I did the last big one that I did, I used 3 of those 500 gram packets. But look, as I said, if you can get, 1 kilogram or bigger, it's going to be a lot better. Now, normally also when I do this, I will put the books in so that they are open, and that way it gets a bit more airflow. But in this case, because I've only got a small container, I can't do that. Now, if you just pop that book in, and I'm going to tell you this because I did it, all right? Pop the book in, which is what a lot of people tell you to do, and seal it up, put it away for a few days, get it back out. So I did that. And then when I opened the lid and I smelt the book, and the book smelt okay, but you know what? The minute I open it up to some of the inside pages, I could smell it again. So how do you get around that? I'm just going to put the lid back on that for a sec and put the book here. The next thing you're going to need for this little step is some makeup wipes. Again, these are the only brand I can get in Donald. But, if I could get a cheaper brand, I would, because essentially you're only going to use them for this purpose. So get some of your facial makeup cleaner wipes out, and you open up the book and just look, it doesn't really matter how many, but so I'm going to start from the back, and I'm just going to sort of every few pages I am just going to sit a makeup wipe in. Now look, if it's a big book, you might want to put one makeup wipe here at the top and one at the bottom, just so that the pages don't bend in the middle. But yeah, just every, and depending how many pages the book's got, you might want to do slightly bigger clumps. But because this is not a very big book, I can afford to do it. I can do it every few pages because, look, the less pages you have before you put in another one, the more airflow you're going to get. And, of course, the more airflow you get, the less stinkier the book is going to be when you're finished. So I'm actually doing about 3 or 4 pages per little stash here, like so. Close it up. In this case, like, as I said, if I was doing this in my big tub, I would do this. And I would, well, I'd take that one out because it wouldn't be needed, but I would actually store it in my big tub like so. And as you can see, you get a lot really good, and you can see why it works, because it gets all the airflow in. So that's how I would store it if I actually had it in the big tub. But for the purposes of our demonstration, we're going to use the small one. So pop that in there. Now, because I've got so many of these in here, I'm going to have to take out a couple, which generally isn't an issue in the bigger tub. But you do want to make sure, all the same, that none of your none of the page leaves are sticking up, and that they are going to get damaged when you put the lid on, especially if you've got a coloured container and you can't see through to see what you're doing. Seal that up, pop it away, as I said, under your bed or whatever. But there you can see how much, even with that one, how much will get through. And the bicarb soda will draw that through. The last lot I did, let me just adjust the camera again. I'm back. So the last lot that I did in my big container were left in there for a bit longer than I probably might have left them, because it was Christmas and stuff and I wasn't going to get them out over that time. So they probably were in there for about 10 days, I think, and perfect. And they were mighty stinky. And one of them was quite a large book. So in that, using the biggest tub, I was able to put quite a large book and then next to it put a smaller book. If you're only using small books, you can probably do 4 or more at a time. So there you go, boys and girls. That is my little tip for how to get rid of that stinky poo smell out of your books. Right, so I just thought I would share one of my sales today, and I had a Depop sale, and I just thought I would share this one with you. So this is just a cute little Lee Cooper skirt, a little mini skirt. It's a size 16, so it was a good size. It's got a beautiful washout fade and a little bit of distressing on it. And, basically the hem's been taken down to give it a bit more of a boho type look. And I'll just show you how I presented it in the photos. So I did a full front and a full back. And then I showed the Lee Cooper on the leather tag and the inside tag. Now, remembering when you do sell on Depop, you actually only allowed 8 photos. So you have to choose your photos quite carefully. So I try to show the main things. And so in this case, here is what the item's made of: cotton. And then I've got the waist measurement and the length measurement. And then I've given a close-up detail of the embroidery on the pocket. And that is it. So this sold for $23.33. So that is made up of, so that's actually, what I get to take away from Depop minus the cost of postage. So it actually sold for $14 plus $11 postage, which gave me $25. And then take out the little bit of fee that I had to pay Depop. Leaves me with that, and in the end, by the time I pay my postage, I am left with a $9.85 profit. So I did have this one on sale. So yes, it came down a little bit, but still gives me a 65% return on my investment, which is absolutely fine by me. At the moment for this month, because what are we, 12th, so we're about a third of the way in roughly, I am tracking with 52% of my sales have been books, 4% vinyl records, 3% doll, because I did sell one doll, 11% has been jeans, men's clothing other than jeans has been 9%, women's clothing other than jeans has been 11%, 4% hats, 2% VHS, and 3% other toys, because I did sell some other plush. So that is me all wrapped up in a nutshell. And I will see you tomorrow.